Hey, good afternoon. I'm going to wait a moment and see if anybody jumps on, but I'm going to be talking about sleep and one of the most common reasons I see kiddos, or one of the more common reasons I see kiddos struggle with sleep. And this can manifest itself in a couple different ways, but it's really important. So I'll give this just a second, see if anybody jumps on here. But sleep, this is something uh, I've been seeing a lot. There's a lot of stress out there, right? There's a lot of kids not sleeping well, especially post snowmageddon. And so this is one of the things that I look at when I see kiddos struggling with sleep. And so I'm going to show you one of the scans that we do here in the office. This is a static EMG. So it's actually measuring muscle activity. So you see this one, right? This is tough to do backwards. This one, opposite one. This one right here. All right, there's a bunch of colors on there. And what that's telling us is muscle activity. And so you have to think about this from a energy standpoint, from a activation or sensory aspect. These muscles are active. So that's literally reading the electrical current. And so when kiddos struggle with sleep, this is a big one. And it also plays a massive role in attention, right? So because what's happening is the brain is getting a bunch of input, right? A bunch of sensory input. And what should happen is when we fall asleep, all the activity should fall down. But the problem is we have kids that are so stimulated from this muscle that they have trouble falling asleep. That's the most common one. They have trouble falling asleep because there's so much background noise. If you've ever read, like you shouldn't work out right before going to sleep. Well, what's going on is you're activating a bunch of muscles, right, which are activating your brain. So these kids are walking around all day with active muscles. They're getting all this activity in their brain. And then when they're trying to settle down, they're still active. And so this is one of the things that needs to be addressed when kids are having trouble sleeping. And so if your kiddo's having trouble sleeping, this is one of the things that you need to look at. How active are the muscles? So when I see a lot of activity in those scans, I always think core stability, core weakness. Can my muscles of my back do their job efficiently? And if they can't, they tend to get overactive, okay? And so like in adults, what you see is knots, right? Like, oh, I got knots. Well, those muscles are so active, so tight over time that they've built up scar tissue and knotted up. But with kiddos, we need to get those muscles efficient, toned, strong. And so one of the things that actually can help you, I wouldn't suggest doing before sleep, but is working those muscles like planks. Those are a big one. All my kids are required to do planks. So doing planks. There's also what we call reverse crunches or supermans, where they lay on the floor and they bring the head and arms and ideally the legs up, and we're activating those muscles, making them more efficient, helping ideally these scans get better, okay? And then lastly, bird dogs or cross crawls. And so we're on all fours and our opposite arm, opposite leg go out. So if my right arm goes out in front of me, my left leg goes out behind me. It's a crawling like motion, but that helps create activity, tone, muscle coordination for efficiency. And this is so important for these kiddos. So if these muscles stay lit up and colored, like in this one scan right here, your kiddos may be struggling to fall asleep. They may be struggling to stay asleep too, because as their brain kind of goes through the cycles of sleep and there's all this background noise, it can sometimes wake them up. And so if your kiddo's struggling, I always suggest starting with core stability, strength, and exercises. So your planks, your reverse crunches or supermans, and your cross crawls, those can help immensely change the muscle activity, help the brain start calming down, because when we're talking about sleep, attention, and focus, and the muscle skeletal system and the sensory system, it is vital. We must have coordinated, efficient muscle tone. And so start looking at that. Start investigating that. If we have them do this for 2 weeks, is it changing their sleep? How is it improving? And this can help immensely. All right. Dr. Brian with Dallas Synergy Chiropractic, health by choice, not by chance.